BlackRock just secured key Panama Canal ports in a $23 billion deal, and China isn't happy about it. What does this mean for U.S. trade, global supply chains, and geopolitical tensions? We break down the real impact. Stay tuned.
Gary. Moving to thing number two, we're talking Panama Canal and what's going on down there. You've got names like BlackRock. China doesn't seem to be too happy with what's going on in the area. Gary, thing number two, BlackRock acquires Panama Canal ports. Tell us what China thinks about this, Gary.
Well, let's go to the basics again first. So President Trump, as he was taking office, was talking about the United States taking control of the Panama Canal back. Now, believe it or not, that actually is something that was part of the treaty. President Carter made a very unwise decision to give the Panama Canal, which the United States paid for and built, to Panama. And it's very easy to say, well, wait a minute, like, whether that was a good deal or a bad deal, that's the deal that was made. But there were provisions in the deal that said if the United States ends up in an insecure position as a result of this, we can take it back. And so when President Trump was talking about taking the canal back, I don't think that's practical. I don't think we're going to do it. I think we'd be fighting a miles-long guerrilla war through the jungle. It's not going to happen. But he was genuinely concerned about Chinese control of the canal. We've had two events in the past few weeks. One is Panama started charging the United States Navy and other U.S. military ships a whole lot less, which was a good idea. And then a week ago, a group of investors, including BlackRock, struck a deal with a Hong Kong conglomerate called CK Hutchinson. And that led to the 90% acquisition of CK Hutchinson's stake in ports around the globe, which included the two ports on either side of the Panama Canal. This was intended to, and I believe it addressed President Trump's concerns about China's Belt and Road Initiative. Chinese ownership of ports has raised concern over misconduct, and some people believe that China can leverage internal sources to gather data on U.S. products, potentially block future U.S. access. So with ownership of these two ports changing hands, the U.S. has access to high-demand Panama Canal Railway, capable of transporting containers at a cheaper price. I believe that this addresses President Trump's concerns.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, Gary. So with it addressing his concerns, what did the response look like from China, or what do you expect their response to be like?
So China was hilariously infuriated. They previously had claimed they didn't have control over the ports, but immediately characterized the deal, ready for this, as spineless groveling and a betrayal of the Chinese people, leaving me wondering, how is it that the sale of assets that China claims it didn't control represents a betrayal of the Chinese people? And to use their own language, which I think is important. I think it's important to speak to people in their own language. We strongly suggest that the Chinese government abandon their wrong thought in this matter and suggest that they should apologize for interfering in the affairs of other countries. That's the language they use whenever the United States is involved in something related to other countries. They constantly criticize us for wrong thought and wrong action, not realizing that speaking that way to Americans or to an American president is not going to be persuasive. They're entitled to their opinion, but, our view is they should address their own wrong thought and apologize themselves.
You're watching this week's version of the Five Things. We're calling it the sort of disflation issue. Be sure to head to deepknowledgeinvesting.com, sign up for a free email subscription. All you need is name, first name, email address. You'll get notified of all new content and posts on the website. We'd love if you could consider a premium subscription, $100 a month. That'll get you access to all content and material, no paywall, no gates, as well as current recommendations and what moves Gary's making in the market, as well as a bunch of other features. Also, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell Gary why you disagree with him or how he's completely wrong about absolutely everything. We'd love that discourse.